Apple Card is the credit card created by Apple. You earn 3% daily cash back up front when you use it to buy a new iPhone 15, AirPods, or any products at Apple. And you can automatically grow your daily cash at 4.15% annual percentage yield when you open a high-yield savings account. Apply for Apple Card in the Wallet app on iPhone. Apple Card subject to credit approval. Savings is available to Apple Card owners subject to eligibility. Savings accounts by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, member FDIC. Terms apply.
Max, the one to watch for the best in entertainment, now has live sports with the Bleacher Report sports add-on.
5, 4, 3, 2, I let one go.
Stream hundreds of select live games from MLB.
That's gonna go!
NBA, NHL, U.S. Soccer, and NCAA Men's March Madness.
We just see what we think we just saw!
And it's all included for a limited time with any Max subscription.
He got it!
After the promo period, add it for $9.99 a month. Base subscription required.
This episode is brought to you by Columbia Sportswear. It's snowing again, and that wind chill is killer. But you're not worried about that because you shop the Omni Heat Infinity Collection. It's warmth perfected with tiny gold dots that reflect your body heat inside and protect you from the cold outside. No snow or chilly temps can stop you now. Go out anyway. Shop the Omni Heat Infinity Collection now at Columbia.com/infinity.
The following is a snippet of an exclusive members-only podcast episode for our Patreon, Chronicles Tifosi. Become a member at patreon.com/Serie A Chronicles for regular bonus episodes and content.
Eccolo qua, il traversone che arriva in mezzo, colpo di testa e la palla in rete, ha segnato la Juventus, Vlahović, 1-0 per la squadra bianconera, eccolo qua, il gol di Dušan Vlahović, l'aspettavamo, era nell'aria, sul palo lungo, 74esimo minuto, esplode il settore ospite della Juve, Torino 0, Juventus 1.
One team that does seem very unhappy is, of course, Juventus. Everyone had said it even before the season started, that watching some of the training sessions, and you could spot that the players didn't seem ecstatic. The fans are certainly unhappy, half of them not showing up in the same way that Napoli fans are all around there supporting their team, even if mistakes are being made. But Juventus finally managed to get the away win that they have been searching for now for what seems like, well, since the start of the season. And obviously they had a hideous midweek Champions League fixture against Maccabi Haifa in which there was just nothing to show they're defeated. They're out of the Champions League, not mathematically, but almost mathematically. And you could just tell that there's something very, very wrong at this club. Agnelli came out afterwards and said, we are ashamed of our performances, of what's been happening. Everyone's like, we're going to get together. They went into retiro, something they haven't done for many years, really, in order to try to get everyone on board, even though it didn't feature any of the injured players like Di Maria, which is very bizarre. But anyway, it was about looking each other in the eye and trying to figure it out. And then, of course, came this performance in the derby, which I cannot tell you was beautiful. They didn't have a shot on goal until the 33rd minute, I think. But they did manage to win because they had a superb Vlahović, when poor old Juric didn't have Sanabria or a proper forward, to be honest with you. I can't tell you that it's a great performance, but I can tell you one thing that's a little bit different. And I don't know if that is because of the fact that they went into retiro or anything like that. But they did actually manage a few more tackles. And that's important to me because I like to see a very combative Juventus. That's what I associate to them. You know, they are the Antonio Conte, Ventrone, like this is, you know, Trapattoni, everything that when I think of Juventus, I think of it being combative. And they managed 22 tackles. Against Monza, there was 8. Against Milan, 15. Against Maccabi Haifa, 14. So there's definitely a difference there. And for once, they didn't die in the game, but rather raise their game and raise their tempo in the second half. But in all seriousness, I can't take this game seriously because Torino are really suffering right now. And this is a side that's really only managed wins against Lecce, Cremonese and Monza. And since then, they've really, really struggled. And you can see that Ivan Juric is trying to figure out a way to give something more, but the team is just not good enough. So do you feel like they might have started something? Because this is what happened a few seasons ago when they managed a win against Torino and then that changed their season? Or do you think that it's just going to continue going like this?
I think I feel the Juventus players that I heard speaking, and I think Allegri said similar after the game, were right in the, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've won a game. We've had a really rough time recently. Let's take it one step at a time. And I think that's the right way they've got to be. They need to be humble about it, because this was a low week. And I appreciate, because we do these podcasts once a week. We didn't have a chance to speak right after Maccabi together, and it was bad. It was really bad. And I always sort of feel slightly uncomfortable with these games where you're talking about a team, because there's two teams in the game, right? And for Maccabi, that was a historic night, their first Champions League group win in, is it ever or a long time? I'm sorry, I can't remember. In any case, my feeling on that was they did play well, but also, would they have beaten either of the other two teams in this group playing this well? No, they wouldn't have. And that comes back to Juventus again. And I think what you said about the tackling, it's not just a fan thing or like a perception thing. It's feels to me as someone who's not a fan, like it's actually really abstract and important. Like Juventus haven't got no bite. And I go back to the game against Monza. Sorry, not against Monza, against Milan, when Bonucci just lets Brahim Diaz go past him. You think, Bonucci, like of everyone, like you're the old head here. You know what's going on. Foul him. Just foul him. And actually, of course, Torino, we've talked about this with Ivan Juric, are an interesting measure of this, because Torino under Ivan Juric have actually been one of the teams that's committed like the most fouls in the whole division. And that has been part of their identity as a football team under Juric. We will be up in your face. We will disrupt play high up the pitch so you can't build play from the back. Yes, we're going to give away a lot of free kicks. We're going to try to be very cute about knowing when and where to do those fouls so that we don't give away too many yellow cards and don't get everyone sent off. But we're going to be really, really physical and aggressive. And so I'm certainly not, as I just said, in the camp of, oh, they've won and everything's fixed. But this was an important measuring stick, was can you play in a physical game and do it? And they've shown that they can. Now the question is, why weren't you doing it before? And what will it take to get a physical performance out of you every game? And even that won't fix everything, because to me, the creation still isn't there. You mentioned it, Mina, like it wasn't like they were generating 100 shots in this game. But start from there. And if you can at least be that Juventus, then I think you can do something. And I think there was sort of some encouraging individual performances within this, and in that sort of seeing that mentality. I think actually the midfield, Locatelli, Rabiot, much maligned Rabiot, did their part. I thought Danilo had a good game. Bremer as well, playing against Sol Club. One notable absentee from this 11, Mina, was Bonucci, and Bonucci reportedly has been asking for a transfer. That's been sort of put out in the last day. How do you sort of feel about that? And do you think it's a credible report, this report that Bonucci's looking to get out?
What I find weird is that he hasn't come out to talk about it, because that is a very Bonucci thing to do, to come out and say no. He had written a letter to the fans to apologize for their performance against Maccabi Haifa. And his report with Allegri, which I know is something that's talked about because it was never great, it is slowly improving. And Allegri felt like he has taken a lot of the losses almost personally. And he said that. He said, he's really been suffering. So I didn't want to play him straight away. It seems like, on brand for Bonucci to jump ship when things are going wrong, which is what happened the first time around, right, when he left for Milan. But I genuinely don't believe like he would do that again. I don't think he's very happy. I don't think very many players are happy. I'll be honest with you. And I think why there are certain levels, like Vlahović performed very well, Kostic performed very well, Milinkovic-Savic performed very well to Torino as well. And that had to do with the fact that their coach from the national team was there. And I hope it wasn't just for them. But what I liked so much, and here's the thing, I don't care if Vlahović scores goals. Frankly speaking, if he doesn't score a goal again, I'm all right with it. Weirdly enough, that's not what I care about. I care about the fact that when Keane missed a huge opportunity.
Become a member at patreon.com/Serie A Chronicles for regular bonus episodes and content.
Sports Social Podcast Network.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.